Listen, I just have seen so much negativity in the Summer I Turned Pretty fandom, and the things that are said about Jenny Han as a writer specifically are the things that make me feel so upset, especially just like things that I've seen just this past week. There is a huge difference between having like actual valid critique and just like willfully trying to misunderstand. What is this author trying to say? Her love of family and a lot of like her ethics and her morals of what she deems right, what does it mean to do right by your family? A lot of those things come out in her stories, not just in The Summer I Turned Pretty, but also into All the Boys I've Loved Before. It's like very clear in Jenny Han's universe that you do not date your sibling's ex. Like that's the whole point of conflict in To All the Boys I Loved Before with Lara Jean and her sister Margot. It would be cruel if Lara Jean would have pursued Josh, especially right after he had just broken up with Margot. And not just cruel, it would have been weird. And the fact that Jenny has like given like layers on layers on layers of explanations as to why Jeremiah and how Jeremiah was so deliberately manipulative and malicious in his manipulation of the chain of events. And also like she's given you layers on layers on layers of examples of how absolutely deeply hypocritical he was, all the things that he blames other people for or complains about in other people, the things that he does himself. It really does like boggle my mind how there are people who are still like defending Jeremiah to this day. Like I'm like, I know these are fictional characters, I know I should not like be upset about it. They coddle him. The things that are said about Jenny Han as a writer and like the arguments that are made that are not made in good faith. Even in the book, in book 1, you can definitely see the way that he is being set up to be this actually like quite manipulative character. Can you imagine Jane Austen being put up to this kind of scrutiny? Can you imagine a fandom hell-bent on defending Mr. Wickham and complaining that Jane Austen was just like a pathetic writer because you had a good first impression of him, which is the whole point to the story. Anyways, Pride and Prejudice, its original title as a novel was First Impressions because she was absolutely setting these characters up. Mr. Darcy to give you a bad first impression and Mr. Wickham to give you a good first impression. Can you take anyone seriously who would try to tell you that Mr. Darcy's letter explaining to Elizabeth what Mr. Wickham has done to his family and why he detests him so much? Can you imagine people today describing that letter as like a cheap cop-out for a writer? Can you imagine them saying like, oh, well, you just wanted to make Mr. Wickham look bad because you just had to have Lizzie end up with Mr. Darcy? Like, even if that was the case, yes, like, we want her with Mr. Darcy. Like, that is who is right for Lizzie. Mr. Wickham is not right for her. Jeremiah is not right for Belly, and everything that he told you, like, about what he wants, that's not what Belly's ever been looking for in the books or in the show. I just feel so frustrated with these conversations, or like people who are trying to make these arguments of character assassination. How can you make this literary analysis and ignore the glaring fact that this story is an adaptation and the character that Jeremiah is based on is a spoiled, rich playboy kind of character. He is always schmoozing with women, to put it lightly. I don't think that he really cares about them as people, and the whole point of the story is that he really does not see Sabrina for who she really is. He only notices her when she comes back looking sophisticated and looking beautiful on the outside. And this whole story is about how we judge people incorrectly when we judge them on a surface level. And a lot of the times these critiques are not just like innocent, like, oh, well, I really like that guy Jeremiah, he's a cute golden retriever. A lot of the times these critiques are so mean. I just feel like it's really important to reiterate that like art is for you, but it's not for you. This is not your story. This is Jenny Han's story, and it's also Belly's story. And to be able to properly engage with it, you can't really just depend on watching it on a surface level. You do need to look deeper. And that is what makes Jenny Han so talented as a writer. That's what makes her writing so genius, is that from the first episode, even with Conrad, you can judge those conversations Belly has with him as Conrad is bad, but if you take a closer look, you actually understand so much complexity to his character, and you do understand that it might seem like he's antagonistic, but actually he's deeply in love with her. That is a brilliant writer. And so it does pain me, the people who want to stand 10 toes down on willfully misunderstanding the beauty of this story. And even kind of like how this story is marketed to us. I get that it's like marketed to us as a love triangle, but there's so much deeper beneath the surface of that like pretty package of marketing. Like there's so much more to this story than just a love triangle. This is a story about grief and friendship and family. And also, like, I understand that like Easter eggs, those are also kind of marketed to us to get us excited, to get us like looking at the media. It's also frustrating that it's like Jenny Han's genius is not in these Easter eggs. It's not in the Taylor Swift songs that she chooses to use. It really is in her story and in her writing, and sometimes I just feel like these things get lost in the discourse.